So my name's Nicola Tuxworth, and I've been at Cheltenham Festivals for 11 years now, and I am Head of Programming for the Literature Festival. Well, my standout moment isn't one connected with an event as such, but about 4 years ago we had, she was the then head of Liberty, Shami Chakrabarti, as our guest curator, and she was great friends with the wonderful campaigner Doreen Lawrence, whose son was murdered in a racist attack. It's a very landmark case. And Doreen came to take part in an event which Shami had programmed. That's what we ask our guest curators to do. And anyway, Doreen's great hero is Judi Dench. And Judi Dench was at Cheltenham at the same time for an event as Doreen. And in the writer's room, Judi Dench came over to Doreen and told Doreen that she was one of her heroes, and then they had a wonderful photo together with their arms around each other. And I'll never forget that, because the look on her face, on Doreen's face, to not only meet her idol but be told that she was Judi Dench's idol, was just a really wonderful moment for them all, I think. So that was great.
My name is Ian George, and I've been with Cheltenham Festival since 2002, and I'm now the Director of Festivals here at Cheltenham. So I have a memory of Alice Walker at the Literature Festival many years ago now, where we had a book signing and thousands of people were patiently waiting, and a lady arrived finally at the front of the queue and just dropped to her knees with pure joy the fact that she got to meet one of her idols. And this book had obviously meant so much to her, and it reminded me of the real power of the written word.
My name is Jo James, and I am associated with the festival, have been for over 20 years now. First of all as a bookseller for Ottokar's Booksellers and then Waterstones, and then I became Writers' Room Manager, and I'm now Writers' Room Manager and a programmer. So yeah, lots of different roles within the festival. I have so many standout moments, it's really difficult to pick just one. I think as a bookseller, the standout is when you first arrive on site and the vans arrive and the crates arrive and you have books up to here that all need stacking and putting out and displaying, and it's terrifying and exhilarating and exhausting before you've even started. So that's as a bookseller. I think as a Writers' Room Manager, there are standout moments every year, so I'm going to go with this year's. Having tea in a scone with Sir David Attenborough was magic, and then spending an entire afternoon with Graham Norton, and he was chatty and funny and just glorious. So those are my standout moments from this year. Ask me again next year and there'll be a whole new bunch.
My name is Scarlett Curtis. My standout moment from past Cheltenham Literary Festivals is last year in 2017. I flew back from New York to see Hillary Clinton speak, and I cried the entire time because I was so emotional, and then I went out and bought the pantsuit that she was wearing at the festival and I wear it regularly.
My favourite moments are always the moment when Emma comes off having interviewed someone and I can tell her it's triumphant and not lie. My most amusing moment was the third time in one day when Emma came on stage. I think she talked to Russell Brand, Bill Nye and Twiggy, and all three had she introduced with the words, "I'm about to interview my favourite person in the world." And so my best moment was that nobody booed her and shouted, "You're lying, you said that only half an hour ago," and then 2 hours before. A real favourite moment of mine was just seeing my daughter first walk into the writer's room, because it's a sort of a miracle there, because there are these incredibly famous writers, and of course writers aren't famous in the same way, just sitting there drinking cups of tea. When my daughter walked in and saw that Ali Smith was actually just sitting on the couch, she almost died of joy, and then the idea that she could go over and actually talk to her about how much difference she made to her life was a wonderful thing.
My name is Kate Mosse and I'm a novelist. Cheltenham Literature Festival is one of my favourite festivals, and for all of us it's about the autumn. It's the big one for the autumn, and every one of my books I've been here and loved the audiences and loved celebrating publication here in Cheltenham. But one of the things that stands out for me is the friendships I've made since I've been coming to the festival. One of them in particular, Natalie Haynes. We saw each other across a breakfast room. We didn't know each other. We were on our own and we decided we'd sit together. And we were both there celebrating different books. And 20 years later, we're the best of friends, and she's even got me running. One of my standout moments from being at Cheltenham was knowing that because it's such an important festival and such a great festival, that we should be celebrating the Women's Prize for Fiction here. I'm the founder director of the prize. So a few years ago we came and did a panel about the Women's Prize for Fiction, and since then I've come back as an interviewer mostly to talk to women who've won the prize or been shortlisted for the prize. And my standout moment, I suppose, was interviewing Emma McBride, who won the prize a couple of years ago for A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. And that was a late night event, a packed tent, and everybody full of admiration both for her reading of her work, but also the brilliant way that she answered her questions.
My name's Emma Tucker. I'm Deputy Editor at The Times. My association with the festival is that for over 10 years now, The Times and latterly the Sunday Times have been headline sponsors of the Cheltenham Literature Festival. So every year, myself and other journalists get to work with the programmers to help bring lots of Times journalists to the festival to enhance the programme. Well, I've been coming for so many years, I have lots of highlights. But I think back to when my kids were little, we used to come, and there was something about the children's programme. I mean, it's all wonderful, but the children's programme, going to see some of the authors with the kids was wonderful and really quite magical. And in particular, I remember Michael Rosen getting up on a platform and reciting some of his poetry, and he was magnetic. I remember looking at the kids' faces, they were just transfixed by him. He was so funny, he was rhythmic, he was articulate, he told a great story, and it was all done in poetry. So I have to say, of the many highlights, that's probably the standout.